We're going to be doing a mid-scale Datsenko-Wander today. That means we're going to be electroporating in some linear DNA. I grew up about 50 milliliters of cells, and after 2 hours 45 minutes I induced to the ravenose. I then spun down that 50 mils in a conical vial and I got a pellet. And you'll see now that there's some liquid in there that's 10% glycerol. I've been very careful to keep my cells very cold the entire time. I made sure to pour off all of the previous supernatant. And now I'm going to resuspend my cells in this 10% glycerol. Make sure that I'm keeping it cold the entire time. Come over here, face the pellet towards me, give it a quick buzz, and then you can see the pellets slowly start to disappear. That's probably the easiest way to do a resuspension. Every now and again I just re-dip it back in there to make sure it gets chilled. It doesn't need to be dipped the entire way, just you want to dip the part that has all the cells in it. So you can see we have a little bit more of our pellet left. Probably needs about 10 more seconds. And both of our pellets are gone. They're spinning around right now, so I'm going to give it a little bit more just so that pellet disappears. So then once it stops, I hold it up to the light. I don't see any chunks. Those go back in the ice, and they're going to get spun down. So I've already set up the centrifuge. And I'm going to weigh my samples, make sure that everything's all balanced. And I have 164.9, 164.8. Perfect. They're already weighed, ready to go. Pop them in. Spin them down, 6,500, 5 minutes. Correct rotor is there. Enter, I'm going to go back to RPM, enter, press start. And we're going to end up with a pellet. And we're going to want to pour off all of that glycerol supernatant. And then we're going to want to resuspend one more time in glycerol. And so the purpose of this is to wash away any salts that are going to interrupt or they're going to mess up the electroporation. So we're just going to be resuspending in glycerol, spinning down, pelleting, pouring off the glycerol, resuspending, spinning it down, pouring it off. And that's just slowly leaching off all those salts until finally we end up with just a bunch of cells and 10% glycerol. We're then going to add our cells to a cuvette, electroporate, and then our cells already have another plasmid in them called PKD46, which has a bunch of helper proteins which are going to integrate that linear piece of DNA that we're adding.